Beacons are the Daemon Ex Machina equivalent of a pirate's treasure map. Once you find a beacon, you have to take it to the factory to restore it, and in order to restore it, it takes storage chips and flat cables, both of which can be found in chests and on enemies, as well as one merchant in the forest that will sell them to you in a colony. Now, the cost to restore the beacons will vary from beacon to beacon, and it averages between 1 and 5 storage chips and flat cables to repair the beacons. Let's find a beacon that costs 2 and see where it will lead us after we restore it. Once you restore a beacon, it will show you a portion of the map where the treasure is that you need to find. Set it as your exploration area, or even if you're in the area, it won't show up and you can't find it. Beacons must be set as your exploration area in order for it to work. You can only have one beacon active at a time, but you can have multiple beacons repaired at a time. So match up where the beacon is showing you to go to your own map, and once you figure out the rough location where it needs to be, you're going to try and center your quick pin with where the beacon's telling you to go. I like to clear any other pins from the map whenever I'm doing this, just so I don't get confused and end up flying towards the wrong pin, because that's the kind of guy that I am. Once you get to your pin, you're going to want to treat it as a tether and travel in a radius around it until the upper right mini-map blinks in a bluish green and says beacon signal detected. Once you get that notice, you're going to stop and you're going to start scanning the area until you find it. Now what you're looking for is an arm sticking up out of the ground, and there's going to be discolored soil around it. It can be pretty difficult to see from high up, but if you're higher up in the air, you also have a better vantage of the general layout. Just keep looking around and you'll find it. Eventually, once you've done this enough, you'll get pretty well used to finding it, and it becomes easier.
Enemy sighted. Are you ready?
Make sure when you're looking that you don't accidentally fly out of the signal zone. If you do, go back to your tether that you marked to more easily locate it again. And that's what you're looking for. Once you find the arm sticking up out of the ground, you're going to access it, and it's going to reveal the arsenal. You can then access it again, and you can choose from the loot pool that pops up. Now that was a pretty low quality beacon. It only took 2 flat cable and 2 storage chips to restore. So let's try one that costs 5 and see if there's any difference to the loot you can get. Now remember, after restoring the beacon, you're going to want to set it as your exploration zone.
sighted.
Now, as you can see, the rarity of loot that you can get is directly related to the cost of restoring the beacon. More expensive beacons give higher rarity loot. Now, with that said, unlike gargoyles, which have a C plus average on their stats, the stat rolls of beacon gear is random. It's much more random. You can get high quality A's and B's and with a couple C's, or you can get E's and D's. It's pretty random. But beacons are typically much easier to do than fighting gargoyles or finding gargoyles. They're a lot less time consuming than dungeons once you get good at this. And you can also stack up a ton of beacons and then hit them all at once. Just get them back to back and end up racking up loot. So they're a good way to fill out your collection or seek new gear that you haven't gotten yet. I hope this video was helpful. I hope you have fun treasure hunting, and if you have any additional tips or input, feel free to add them in the comments. And one last thing, probably the most important thing, if you're struggling with the beacons, and for actually finding where they are, these upgrades in your facility will make the beacon picture completely clear so you don't have to fuss with all that noise. Alright, have fun.